So morning, my loves. This is going to be quite a nice restful practice today. Just start on your mats wherever you're most comfortable, lying down or seated. And we're going to just sort of I've chosen some poses where we're going to just move the body in all directions, forward, backwards, a twist and a lovely side bend. And then usually if we've got time, I'd like to bring in a waterfall at the end for an inversion. So all the body is moved in all directions, which is nice. So just take a few moments and check in with yourself. Notice how you're feeling, what you need to be gentle of. There's always something that perhaps we need to be careful of in the body. Be mindful. And notice your breath. The one thing that's always with us that often we ignore, but it's so fundamental for life. So every now and then, especially on our yoga mats, it gives us the opportunity to just be very grateful for every breath that comes and goes. We just expect the next breath, don't even have to think about it. It's a nice opportunity to marvel at how wonderful our bodies are, how wonderful we are. But we're not just little meat suits. There's more to we human beings. There's an essence within us that lives on, that's eternal. And I think when we come onto our mats, that's the part that we get in touch with, in the quiet moments, in the stillness of a posture. We explore the deeper levels of who we are. So if you're lying down, just have a few moments now to stretch. Maybe arms overhead or hugging the knees in, whatever feels comfortable for you. And then we'll come up to seated for some quiet meditation today, coming into Zazen. Seated, quiet meditation. It's lovely to just rest our hands in Dhyana Mudra. Usually the right hand is on the left, and with the thumb tips just touching. There's a reason for this, that there's sometimes in meditation we can become quite dozy, and you'll notice if your thumbs start to part or become sort of loose. Other times you might be holding so much tension and you're pressing the thumbs together. So it's kind of an element of an awareness on where you are. So let's close the eyes. We're just going to simply follow our breath, be mindful of our thoughts, and just stay in the moment. Relax your body as much as you can. Relax your arms and your face. Following your breath. Keep checking to see if you're tense. Just keep following the inhale and the exhale. When your mind wanders, just come back to the sensation around the nostrils. Notice your thoughts. And then very gently, just take another breath and we can come back. Just observing how that felt today. Sometimes it actually takes about the 5 minutes to sort of drop into that space where you know your kind of mind is working, but you don't actually really know what you're thinking. You're just sort of, there's glimpses of just sort of feeling like you're just there and existing, and that's quite nice. But often that can take 5 minutes to get there, and then we come out of it. So if you ever practice at home, and sometimes it's nice not to time a meditation. Set a timer for a good length of time in case you need to be somewhere, but to just sit there and enjoy whatever length of time it takes for you to drop into that kind of other layer, I call it. Okay, we're going to start with dragonfly, just a nice wide-legged stretch. And as we come into this one, opening up through the hips in a gentle way, lovely stretch on the inner legs, and just exploring tilting the body forwards and how the back feels today. So in your own time. Can be nice to have a little bit of padding behind the buttocks if you want to roll up to the edge of a blanket. But as always, listening to your body, Satya and Ahimsa. Asteya, non-stealing, not stealing the energy from now, from later on. So just gently relaxing any tension that you're coming across. Could be ankles, could be inner legs. Check in with your shoulders and arms. And then after everything seems relaxed, just draw your awareness to your breath in the belly. How the breath starts in the belly but opens up into the chest and expands. So noticing what you're feeling most today. Is it sensation through your legs? Or is it through your back? If anything at all feels painful or really uncomfortable, just come out of the pose a little bit, just loosen out. How does this pose make you feel today, physically and emotionally? A lovely pose for balancing liver and your kidneys. And it's the anger can weaken your liver, and fear is the emotion that can weaken our kidney energy in traditional Chinese medicine. And so by that rationale, if you are in a happy place or in a joyful place, that's going to make your liver smile. Gently, let's take a breath. Let's come up. And we're going to lie back. And relax. How do you feel? Have a moment to rock the pelvis a few times, maybe wag your tail and just feel into those first sensations we're getting through the body. Relax as much as you can through your back, loosen any tight abdominal muscles. And just check in where you're feeling the chi move. It often takes a few moments of just being still, I find, to then really feel the little spots of temperature difference. Notice if with a lovely big exhalation you find that you relax your back a little bit more. Okay, bring the right knee in, then your left knee, nice and gently. Support that lower back as you bring the legs up. And a nice gentle rock, which often evens out any lingering after effects. So we're going to come up to counterpose that gentle forward bend. Heart bench, or I'm going to offer you bench today, whichever you feel you're drawn to. So heart bench, you're going to need the 2 blocks. And bench, we're simply going to use a cushion to lie over. So choose. You might come into heart bench and actually think, oh no, I need to be a bit softer with myself today. So please change the posture rather than sort of suffer something that you've initially chosen. You can always change your mind. You might come into lying over the cushion and think, actually, no, I feel like I need the blocks today. So follow your intuition. So a lovely pose to counter any forward fold. Gently relaxing on the lumbar part, but more opening in your thoracic part of your body, upper chest. Just let your eyelids close if they haven't already. Relax your cheeks, let the chin just soften downwards. And then following your breath. It's interesting to explore whether the breath feels very easy in certain poses. Whether it's a very natural way to breathe. Whether you're breathing to belly or whether it is just chest. How do you feel? What's your heart saying today? Just notice the energy, the essence of the energy that's flowing through you today. Whether it's gentle, whether it's motivated energy. Whether you have an excess that you need to discharge or whether you actually need to replenish. So just take 2 more breaths here, really enjoying the way your body moves as you breathe. And then very slowly, just coming out the pose, lifting the head first, supporting your body as you lift up. Use your arms. Blocks aside and then coming down. It's always interesting to notice your first response as you come down to the mat into Shavasana. Does it feel good? After some poses you'll think, oh, I can feel that in my back. Or other poses it's like, oh, that feels good. It's really lovely to notice these instinctive feelings that we get. Deep breaths. Relax. Again, noticing any energy shifting around your body. When you're ready, draw knees in. So the next pose we're going to come into is a twist, cat's tail. So if this doesn't suit you and you know of a pose that would benefit you more, please choose that, a 2-sided posture. When you're ready, come up. I'm actually going to, because we come onto our side, sometimes it's just nice to have a little bit more of a comfortable padding under the side of your body. So if you have an extra blanket, it's nice to lie that down. Use a pillow. And what we do is we come onto our right hand sides. We'll start this side. Bring your left knee over. So your left leg and your left knee come over, almost like the beginnings of recovery position. With your left hand, try and grab your right foot. If you can't, don't worry, it's not the most important part of this pose. You can just leave the leg resting on the mat, but if you can, it's nice. And then I like to use a pillow just to support the head and the neck, but if you can't, you can use your hand to cradle your head. And then just in your own time, explore rolling that left shoulder backwards into a very gentle twist. The beauty of this pose is that you can do as little or as much as you want to, just noticing how it feels the whole time. If you're holding your foot, just have a nice loose grip, and you can probably feel a lovely stretch in your right quad muscle and over the right knee. Gently let your breath normalize. And notice where it kind of moves in your body. Try to unclench your buttocks and lower back if you do find that they clench up. You can let your eyelids close gently. Noticing your breath. And just every now and again in this cat's tail pose, you can just see if you want to roll back a little bit more, if there's a bit more kind of space to move into. keep looking around your body for anything that has tensed up again. Just follow your breath a little bit longer. And then we'll gently come out of this pose. Release your foot if you're holding it. Just let your legs straighten. And then roll onto your side, just so your back comes into alignment, and then roll on your back. Just having a few moments to explore what you're feeling. It's always interesting to me that when you just lie here for a few moments after you've come out of a posture, you can start to feel the shifts in temperature change. It starts to kind of develop. Okay, so when you're ready, just bring the knees in gently. We're going to come into the other side. Have a few moments to rock and ease out the back. If you want to bring your head up to your knees and just add a lovely little bit more of a stretch in the back here, that can feel good. And so other side for cat's tail. Come onto your left. And as we did before, right leg, the opposite way, but your right leg comes over now. If you can clasp your left foot with your right hand, if not, don't worry. And then just resting the head. Rolling back on that right shoulder when you feel like you've sort of found your shape in this posture. And relax. Look through your body. Constantly rotate your awareness around your body, because more often than not, something is tight and tense again. And it could just be your face, your forehead, your jaw. Have an awareness as well whether one side of this pose is not as accessible to you as perhaps the other side, or more accessible. We do find little differences in the way our body moves in either side. How does it feel to breathe? Is your breath shallow and rapid? Or can you really enjoy deepening it to the belly and feel the right side of your body lifting and moving? As always, just witness your thoughts. Every now and then, just bring yourself back to being that conscious observer, aware of what you're thinking. Can you relax a bit more in the neck, in the head? So we'll just take a few more breaths. And then just release your foot. Come back onto your side and then on your back. Enjoying whatever you feel. If you need to wag your tail and just rock the pelvis a few times, just to make sure everything feels like it is reset. And then gently, when you're ready, bring your knees in. We're going to come into banana, but not for too long either side. I'm actually going to sort of shorten the amount of time because I would still like to do waterfall at the end. So I'm just going to roll up and move my blanket. Keep your blanket handy for waterfall. So banana, we're literally going to just have a few minutes or a minute or so each side. If this pose doesn't suit you, choose another one. But you can sometimes do this pose in a very gentle way. So I often like to start with bringing the feet over to the right side. If that's too much, you can literally leave your feet in the middle and maybe just sort of shift the upper body over just an inch, not very much at all. So just see what feels right for you. So bringing the feet to the lower right corner, right foot can come over the left just to stop it moving back to centre. And then just explore the idea of moving the upper body. It's nice to notice if you feel more comfortable bringing the legs over or keeping them centre, or the upper body over or keeping that centre. And different times that you come into this pose, there'll be times when you really want to enjoy the deep stretch and other times where it just has to be a very gentle curve because that's all that you feel you need. Gentle breaths. Try and relax your buttocks and your lower back. How does this feel? Can you feel the pose change in its sensation as the longer you lie here? So let's just come back to centre. Gently just realign everything, have a little wriggle. And maybe it's quite nice to bring the knees into chest, just to relax through the lower back. It sort of shifts the sensation away so that we can come into the other side with a fresh view. And so let's take the legs down again. And again, you don't have to move very much at all. You can just explore, just moving the feet a few centimetres only, and maybe leave the body straight. But if you do like banana, bring your left foot over your right ankle, shuffle your upper body to the top left corner. See how it feels. If you need to loosen out, you can do. Just relax the buttocks and lower back. This often can aggravate people with hip issues, so please just being very gentle or avoiding it completely. Just have a few moments lying in Shavasana if that's what you need one side. Focus on the breath. Relax your facial muscles. Notice if there's any tension in your neck. Just a few more breaths here. And make your way back into the centre. Nice and gently and slowly, let everything just realign. Have a nice sigh. Can you feel any chi movement after that pose? So bringing these in, nice and slowly, one at a time. Let's take a lovely long rock here. Roll in some circles. Just feel the outer edge of your back as you go one way and then the other. And then when you're ready, let's come into waterfall. I'm going to use a little blanket over the feet today because that's always quite nice feeling. A little cushion under the buttocks. If you have got a wall or even sort of a strong piece of furniture that you can rest your feet on, it's always quite nice. But if not, raising your legs as we are is lovely. So just let yourself relax here. Don't think about the time. Just enjoy being in the pose, letting everything relax. Very lovely pose for your heart. If your eyes are closed, notice where your kind of internal gaze is, whether you can imagine looking towards your third eye. Do you notice that your breath is quite gentle here? Anytime you need to, you can just bend the knees a little bit more. Or if you want to explore straightening the legs a bit more, you can do. They do say that this posture, if you do take it anytime at home, at least 3 minutes is a good amount to reap the benefits of the pose. Just in those quiet moments, where has your mind gone? What thoughts are you currently on? Perhaps you notice now the belly is such a gentle, there's a very gentle movement in the tummy. So we'll just take a few more breaths, no rush. Just be in this moment. When you're ready, just bend your knees, lower your feet down. Nice and slowly. You can pause here for a moment. And then pull the cushion out. Take a moment to lie down and just enjoy being very restful for a few moments. Nice, slow, gentle breaths. And then gently in your own time, let's come into relaxation. You can stay where you are. If you're feeling very peaceful where you are, just perhaps add a blanket or a cushion. If you prefer coming to seated, you can join me. Just check in with yourself, how you're feeling after your physical practice, the gentle poses that we've done today. Where does it feel good in your body? And it's always lovely at the end of a yoga practice to have the stillness and the rest, the relaxation, giving the body a break, but the mind the opportunity to still be aware, but also rested. Let's draw our thoughts towards the beginnings of spring that we're just starting to notice. It wasn't long ago that we were seeing the daffodils poking up from the earth, but now they're showing their lovely sunny yellow faces to us, all different colours, the light ones, the darker ones. Perhaps you're noticing other spring flowers, the blossom on the trees, the white blossom, the pink blossom, perhaps some shoots of the green just emerging. The days are lighter, longer, the mornings a little brighter. And we're not needing our heavy coats so much. As we come into spring, the element is linked with spring is wood. And it's the liver and the gallbladder that tend to govern this time of year. The colour linked with this, all of this, is green. You might notice that the grass around the area is getting cut, and there's that fresh grass smell that might take you back to your school days, running around. It's funny how the little smells of nature can take you back to hopefully pleasant memories. Gives you time to reflect on your life when we were young children. Who were we then? What did we want to be? What did we want to do? So full of curiosity, energy, and vitality. I think there's still sometimes a lot of that still in us. Even if our body doesn't always want to respond, we can still get really excited about the little things. So today, as you go through your day, just notice the little things that you can get excited about. Perhaps it's just how the sun breaks through the clouds and there's a lovely beam coming in your window. If you're out, perhaps it's just a lovely, just fresh feeling of the air on your face, through your hair. Noticing the bird song. Little things can just really bring a lot of joy. Just have a few more moments of quietness and let your mind wander. So gently bring your mind back from where your thoughts were. Just come back to the body, notice the breath. Just gently start to move, fingers, toes. Maybe tilt the head from side to side. Roll the shoulders. If you're lying down, a full body stretch before hugging the knees in. And then when you're ready, in your own time, coming up to seated. Bringing hands to heart center. Om Shanti. Namaste.